What's up, YouTubers? This is Will, also known as Chubby Boy. I'm just giving you a little quick update on Project Badass S10. I'm currently building a 388 stroker. It's my first time building one. It's been an interesting journey so far. I'm going to take a quick overview of some of the things I've already got done and some of the things I plan on doing to it. Stay tuned. Alright, sorry about my messy shop here. Garage, back porch, slash whatever. Anyways, this is a 388 stroker. It's a 350 block, bored 60 over. Got flat top pistons, 2 valve relief. The cam that is in it is a Summit Racing CT101K. It is a solid cam, rated for 2,500 to 7,000 RPM limit with a 504 lift. And let me wrench turn this over real quick. Yeah, I definitely need to clean things up around here. Come on now, get over there. If you don't know much about a 383, 388 stroker, basically it's a 400 crank and a 350 block. Now this crank has already been turned with the journals to from a 400 to fit a 350 block, and the rods have been turned 30 over. I had an issue with that, but I'll talk to you more about that later. You see 383. 383 would be a 40 over bore, but this is a 60 over bore, so it turns it to a 388. That's where the 8 comes from. I'm running the SpeedPro. No, I'm not sorry. SpeedMaster ROD main studs, and run an ARP oil pump stud and ARP rod bolts. These rods that I'm currently running, if you can see, it's the GMX. They're the X rods. They're a little bit more tougher. It's a stock rod basically, but it's a little bit more tougher than a stock one. Now if you see on some of these rods where it looks kind of polished, I shaved the weight down on all these rods to match equal, just as well as I did the pistons, to match the weight, so this way it's kind of more of a balanced setup. I don't have all the proper equipment to balance an engine, but the least I can do is make sure everything that fits in there weighs the same. One of the rods was a 12 gram difference. Everything's weighed to 0.1 gram difference. They're all the same within 0.1 gram. Well, that's that. A flat top. Now this hasn't been decked, but it has a very shallow deck on it, so it's going to help me increase my compression. Right now the piston's not all the way to the top, but you can see that. Now one thing I forgot to mention, this is a 2-bolt main. I'm not trying to make 10,000 horsepower. I've seen a lot of 2-bolt mains, engines, 350s, come out with a lot of horsepower, but we'll see how it goes. And this gasket I got here is a SpeedPro gasket. I can't stress enough how much it's important to use good gaskets. Well, I would already have an assembled engine, but I made a boo-boo. On this crank, it calls for 030 bearings. Well, that's the bearings I put in the rods, but the problem is it was too tight. My oil clearance was 1/1000 when it should be like 0.0025, and it was too tight. Couldn't rotate the motor. I literally have to stand on this pipe wrench just to get it to turn. Not to mention, I didn't have any side clearance between the rods. Well, another problem I figured out that I did, these rod bolts, these are the new ones. These are, I don't know if you can see that. Well, anyways, these are ARP bolts. I had to change these out because I was clearancing them to clear the cam, and I pulled too much off. Got overzealous, and the bolt started to stretch. These are all the old ones. That one would have been okay, but since I already had a ARP bolt kit, I went ahead and changed them all out. What a pain in the ass that was. Best to do it before you get the pistons on. Well, back to this. Another issue I had was this rod calls for a, let me get it around there, damn pipe wrench, an 030 bearing. I put 030s in there, it was too tight. Didn't have the right oil clearance. So what I ended up having to do is put a half of a 030 bearing in the rod side and a 020 in the cap side. That gave me the clearance I needed. So now, aside from this crappy pipe wrench, I can turn it over, and I got plenty of side play, but what I don't have, it's kind of hard to see at this angle, is no side play. I tried just the 020 bearings, and it just, you could rock it back and forth, just wouldn't work. Too tight is bad, too loose is bad. So hopefully I got it right this time. Yep, like I said, don't ever do that. Just torquing it down, and the engine wouldn't spin, and could have caused me a lot of money down the road. That one might would have been okay, but yeah, see, that's about the most you need to clearance off that to clear the cam. But fortunately, when I put the ARP kit in, it cleared the cam, so they must have already been clearanced for it. Well, that concludes today's session. Thank you. And one more thing that I'm doing to the engine, I have a set of camel hump heads, no accessory holes. These are the 462 castings. When I got these, I paid $100. They were already assembled. Obviously, I've taken them apart. They came with the guide plates already, and they were threaded with studs. So that's an upgrade by itself. Not to mention, they had these on them. So for $100, that's a good deal. Now, these are the chambers as to how they look now, and this is what I'm doing to them. Porting and polishing. That's not a chamber. Clearing them out. Let's see, here we go. Oh. You see there, the flow is going to be a lot better. Still got to do a little work right there, but actually that cylinder's not done. There's the one that's done right there. Clearing the intake runners as well. Polishing those. Still got a little work to do to them. Still a long ways away from being completely done, but you can see that's the way they used to look, and that's how they somewhat look now. Not much different, but it works. Alright, another thing I was doing, sorry my phone keeps dying, so I gasket matched these. Well, called myself doing that. There we go. I still got a little more cleaning up to do, but it's a job. It's gonna take a while. Got some hours. Another thing is these heads, they have 65 cc chambers. That's gonna help me on my compression. I should be around 10 to 1, hopefully. I plan on going turbo, so I didn't want to go too high of compression. Another thing I did, because I'm gonna be going turbo, I opened up these exhaust ports to see how that one, I still have to open that one a little bit. Same with that one. Yeah, that's going to help me spool that turbo just a little bit faster. So, $100, can't beat it. I got the block for $200 along with the crank already machined. I'm always out trying to make a deal. And one more thing that I'm doing to the engine, I have a set of camel hump heads, no accessory holes. These are the 462 castings. When I got these, I paid $100. They were already assembled. Obviously, I've taken them apart. They came with the guide plates already, and they were threaded with studs. So that's an upgrade by itself. Not to mention, they had these on them. So for $100, that's a good deal. Now, these are the chambers as to how they look now, and this is what I'm doing to them. Porting and polishing. That's not a chamber. Clearing them out. Let's see. Here we go. Oh. You see there, the flow is going to be a lot better. Still got to do a little work right there, but actually that cylinder's not done. There's the one that's done right there. They're in the intake runners as well. Polishing those. Still got a little work to do to them. Still a long ways away from being completely done, but you can see that's the way they used to look, and that's how they somewhat look now. Not much different, but it works.